Canada is cute and all, but under Justin Trudeau, it has become garbage. Now it is gearing up to jump in the great sacrificial pit of Ukraine. We will tell you all about it, but before that, if you're a fan of non-corporate funded free news and analysis, you've landed on the right YouTube channel. We publish 3 videos a day, first at 9:15 a.m. EST, second at 1:30 p.m. EST, and the third at 5:30 p.m. EST. So if that's of interest to you, next time you meet a Canadian, tell them that you love Canada, but their Prime Minister is an asshole. Okay, let's start. Canada, known for its strong economy and comprehensive social safety net, has encountered significant challenges due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the ongoing war in Ukraine, complicating its recovery. The pandemic led to a 5.1% decrease in Canada's real GDP in the second quarter of 2020, as reported by Statistics Canada. Despite a rebound, the recovery has faced setbacks. The Ukraine conflict exacerbated economic difficulties, causing global energy prices to spike and drive Canadian inflation to a 30-year high of 6.7% in March 2023. This forced the Bank of Canada to increase interest rates. The war has also intensified supply chain issues, creating shortages and increasing costs for businesses. Additionally, policies under Prime Minister Trudeau targeting the farming and fossil fuel sectors, key components of Canada's economy, alongside disputes with provinces like Alberta and Manitoba, have hindered economic recovery, leading to soaring inflation. Canada's military preparedness is also under scrutiny. Reports from 2023 suggest Canada might sustain military operations for only 48 hours due to shortages in ammunition, spare parts, and combat-ready equipment. The country's military force, numbering approximately 68,000, is considered small, given Canada's vast size and international obligations. Low recruitment levels exacerbate the issue, reflecting a disillusionment among Canadian youth. This diminished military capability raises concerns about Canada's ability to defend itself, fulfill NATO commitments, and maintain its international standing, potentially encouraging adversaries. In a scenario that demands introspection and strategic reinforcement of both economic stability and military prowess, Canada's approach appears somewhat perplexing, if not outright idiotic. At a news conference held at Canadian Forces Base Edmonton, Defence Minister Bill Blair optimistically suggested the potential deployment of a quote-unquote large number of Canadian troops to a conflict-stricken zone, an assertion that raises eyebrows considering the total strength of the Canadian military hovers around a modest 68,000 personnel. Without delving into the specifics, Blair's commentary seemingly referenced the evolving dynamics in regions where Russian troops have secured tactical advantages. Despite the historical context of deploying a minimal force to Ukraine for combat training purposes prior to February 2022, the escalation initiated by Russian President Vladimir Putin's special operation necessitated a strategic withdrawal of Canadian training operations to locations such as the UK, Latvia, and Poland. Blair asserted that training missions will persist despite the unsuitability of current conditions in Ukraine, as reported by Global News. The discourse around international troop deployment in Ukraine, sparked by French President Emmanuel Macron's pledge to thwart Russian victory, remains fraught with contention and a lack of consensus on the direct deployment of forces. Blair's insistence on confining any potential Canadian deployment to non-combat roles echoes a familiar NATO stance. Yet the credibility of such claims is questionable given the covert engagement of UK, French, and German forces in active hostilities under the guise of non-combat assistance. Blair's proposition of non-combative support, encompassing demining, cyber operations, and weapons production, alongside an assurance of distancing Canadian forces from frontline confrontations, ostensibly prioritizes the safety of Canadian personnel. Yet this assurance serves more as a testament to the constraints within which Canada navigates its international military commitments rather than an affirmation of strategic foresight. So the scene is set. Canada will help its NATO buddies with its huge non-combative army in Ukraine, there is only one result possible: neutralization of Canadian forces in Ukraine, and a giant egg on Justin Trudeau's face. Trudeau is, to be honest, f***ed up beyond all repairs, but someone should intervene before he actually sends Canadian cannon fodder to Ukraine. When we talk about Russia and Canada, we cannot overlook the Arctic, which is slowly but surely turning into a battleground of the future and the biggest geostrategic threat Canada will face in the future. Here is a video that explains the situation.